This is, what chat number was this? I'm so jacked up with Halloween, I don't even know. I think it was 246. 246, very good. Okay, so chat number 246. We've been talking about the whole month of October, healthier eating with WW, the new plan coming up. But it's Halloween. Today is Halloween. So we are going to talk about 13 ways that you can use your leftover Halloween candy. So if you didn't hand out any Halloween candy, if you didn't get stuck with any of it, congratulations to you. Good job. If you did, if you're like me, and I didn't really get stuck with any, then you might need some little things to do with it. So you don't want to get stuck with a whole bag of Snickers, but if you have one or two, there are some fun WW friendly things that you can do with Halloween candy. First off, I want to say thank you to Frida at Grace Lutheran Church, because they hosted Trunk or Treat tonight, and she also provided individually wrapped candies. So she provided one each of the little candies that I needed, so that I did not have an entire bag of candy. So I bought a bag of candy, and then I traded it with her to have, I gave her the whole bag of candy of one kind of candy, and then she gave me back an individually wrapped, smaller one, Halloween treat size. So thank you very much, Frida from Grace Lutheran Church, for that. That was a big help. Thank you very much. And the kids had an awesome time. Okay, Sandra. So Sandra says put the leftover candy in the freezer. That's a great idea for someone who has forgotten how to get into their freezer. I can eat a frozen Snickers faster than anybody that you've ever seen. So these are 13 ways to use your leftover Halloween candy. Even if you just ended up with one or two. First thing to keep in mind, Halloween candy, if you have these little snack size, so these little snack size, the little individual size, these little tiny, Halloween size. I'm not talking if you went to the store and bought full size candy bars and full size bags of Skittles and things. I'm not talking about that, okay? I'm talking about little tiny, individual things of candy that you can get at Halloween. So those are anywhere, depending on the candy, they're anywhere from 1 to 6 points, depending on what it is. See, Debbie says frozen Reese's are her favorite. So freezing the candy would just encourage me. Just saying, yeah. But that's a great idea. That is a great idea. Thanks for sharing that. But I would not be good with that. So, what am I going to say? Oh, if you go to www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and search Halloween, you will see a fairly extensive list of Halloween candy, snack size or treat size Halloween candy with its point value. So I'm not going to give you the point value of all of these tonight. It's Halloween. I've been out trunk-or-treating. Yeah, I've been out trunk-or-treating. We've only got 25 minutes left, so I'm not going to go through all the points on this. You can go to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, search Halloween, and I have most candies pointed there. So I'm just going to say, you can't see this, but I do not have any candy corn here. So I'm going to talk about candy corn in a second, but I did not get any candy corn from Frida because it's a problem for me. So candy corn has the highest number of points of any of the snack size Halloween candy. So I'm going to talk about it in one of these, but I did not ask for any or get any because I knew that it would be a problem for me. So, okay, here are 13 things that you can do because it's Halloween, so it has to be 13. So here are 13 things that you can use, 13 ways to use your leftover Halloween candy. Number 1, yogurt. So I love, y'all have seen all those flips. You've seen like the Dannon flips, and you've seen different things where it's yogurt on one side, and then it's got like this little container, of some kind of like something, on the other side. This is perfect. So you can take, like if you had, any of this. So if you've got this little teeny tiny Snickers, if you've got a Twix, which let me just point out, this is hilarious. The Twix bars for Halloween are actually marked right and left, okay? They're marked right and left, and because they're marked right and left, I made sure that I got one of each. What difference does that make? What possible difference does that make? But that commercial works great on me. So instead of buying, the Chobani Flip, it's Chobani Flips. I think I just said the wrong name. It's Chobani Flips. Instead of buying those, if you already have yogurt or if you've been making your own yogurt with plain non-fat Greek yogurt, just, chop one up. Give yourself a treat. Come on, it's Halloween. But you could chop up any of the Halloween candies, and that's a left Twix. I don't know if left Twix is better than right Twix in a yogurt. But anyway, so that's a great way to use some leftover Halloween candy. So that's number 1. Number 2, this has been flooding my newsfeed. So Pound Dropper has a recipe for easy pumpkin crisp, and I think a couple of you all have made it. So if you're one of the people who has made Pound Dropper's easy pumpkin crisp, go ahead and raise your hand or give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know that you're out there. So it looks fantastic. I have not had a chance to make it yet, but I think I'm going to be using some of the pumpkin that I froze in the super cubes. Thinking I'm going to be doing that. So it looks like somebody has made it because I see some thumbs ups going by. But Pound Dropper's Easy Pumpkin Crisp, I think would be amazing with a crushed up Butterfinger on top. What do you all think? If you've had it, if you have had her pumpkin crisp, let me know. But I thought it would be fantastic as a one-time treat. This is just after Halloween, okay? This is a one-time treat. I'm not talking every single time, but I thought that would be great. And that recipe is going to be posted on, Jessica will post it when she posts this chat on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. She's going to post the link to that recipe. So you'll be able to find Pound Dropper's Pumpkin Crisp. You can also find her on Instagram. I think it's just WW Pound Dropper. You got to go find her. She hasn't never made anything that I didn't want like right then. So I think that would be fantastic. Then we have the cheesecake fruit dip that we make on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. We've made that a couple of times in a couple of different varieties, variations, whatever, here in the live chats. But on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, if you search for cheesecake, you will find that it's just the cheesecake fruit dip. Okay, my mom would have been all over this. Her favorite candy was Whoppers. So, well, okay, I take it back. Her favorite candy is Bit of Honey. That was her favorite candy, but her favorite Halloween candy was Whoppers. So she used to always grab these out of our bag, and when Alyssa was little, she would grab these out of Alyssa's bag too. I mean, she was like obsessed with these things. So I think our cheesecake fruit dip was one little crushed up thing, like one serving of that with some crushed up Whoppers on there, and dip apples or bananas in that. I think that would be so yummy. That recipe's already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and again, just search for cheesecake. Okay, we also have a pumpkin overnight oats recipe on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and remember all those little half-cup servings of pumpkin. Oh, that was Celia's mom's favorite candy too. That's awesome. All those little, and even after my mom had to get dentures, she would leave her dentures out, and she would just suck these until they melted. And thank you very much, Carol. Carol Lou has posted the Pound Dropper recipe, so I'm excited to go try it. That, and then the pumpkin overnight oats. I'm gonna, and yeah, don't go get some. Find a trick-or-treater who doesn't want them and get one. Get one little thing of them. That's what I did tonight, thanks to Frida. But all those little half cup things of pumpkin that I put in the super cubes last week, I think I'm going to be using those to make the Pound Dropper's pumpkin crisp. And also we already have a pumpkin spice overnight oats recipe on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. But instead of using the chocolate chips on the top, for that one, that is what I'm going to try. And I'm just going to get one little thing, a little teeny tiny, the tiniest little thing I can find of the candy corn, because I thought chopped up candy corn on the pumpkin overnight oats, I thought that would be fantastic, and it would be very festive too. You don't just have to have that for Halloween. That would be festive for any fall holiday. Okay, the next one. I really want to try this one again too. So we have, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we have 11 pumpkins. So between Casey Kitchen Center and Alyssa and my trip to the pumpkin patch last week, I think we have 11 pumpkins. So we have plenty. We will have plenty after the season. We will have plenty of pumpkins to hollow out and get the seeds out of. And I'm thinking about making some of Drizzle Me Skinny's pumpkin spice granola. So that's another one that if you haven't seen it yet, please go over to drizzlemeskinny.com, or you can follow her on Instagram. It's just Drizzle Me Skinny. Go there and look for the pumpkin. It is pumpkin spice granola. And when I saw that recipe, I thought, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing with the 11 pumpkins, because I'm pretty sure you can freeze it. So I think I know what I'm going to do with the 11 pumpkins that we have. But I thought that would be great for one of those servings if we were going to do it like as a snack mix, like if I was going to just, be snacking on it. I thought that would be a great way to use a mini bag of M&Ms. So from, just a mini size bag of M&Ms, I thought that would be great in that. So it sounded like a great, I don't know, just a snack mix, kind of like a trail mix or something. So that's Drizzle Me Skinny, and it's pumpkin spice granola. And I thought that would be really good with some mini M&Ms. Okay, I'm going to breathe for a second because we have some time left. And if we get done early, we will get done early, and I will just go home and collapse after the trunk or treating and doing this tonight. Okay. The next thing, y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but who likes sweet on their sweet potatoes? So raise your little virtual hand, give me a thumbs up, shout out, do something if you like sweet on your sweet potatoes. So I'm sorry, I think white potatoes, russet potatoes, Yukon Gold potatoes, I think those should be savory. In my opinion, sweet potatoes should always be sweet. So Sylvia does, there are a lot of you, so I can see a lot of thumbs ups and a lot of hearts. So a lot of you all think that sweet potatoes should be sweet. I thought this would be fantastic to make a sweet potato and then put just a little bit of light butter on it. So you know, oh yeah, Sylvia says brown sugar. So you know, we talked a few weeks ago, several weeks ago, about different kinds of butter and light butter and butter versus not really butter and I can't believe you're not butter and, you know, all the things. So your choice of butter sprays, things like that on it. And then a chopped up Midnight Milky Way. So I did a little bit of research on the internet, and apparently dark chocolate, oh, and Marlene's eating a sweet potato right now. Apparently and Sandra says use sugar-free maple syrup. That's a great idea. But I looked on the internet, and apparently dark chocolate is fantastic on sweet potatoes. So this is a Milky Way Mini Midnight. It's a midnight, so it is a dark chocolate Milky Way. So how fun would that be to have a sweet potato with a little tiny bit of your favorite, you know, whatever your choice of butter is, and then a midnight Milky Way. I thought that sounded fantastic. I thought that sounded super, super good. Okay, so that was another one. Then I know Myrna is on here, and several of you like the recipe that we already have on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com that is for the fluffer nutters. So fluffer nutters are so easy to make. You just get these little, and I think Athens is the only brand that I've ever seen, but Athens phyllo shells. So these are little tiny phyllo shells, and let me show you the back. In case you've never seen these before, here are some of the things that you can make with them. But I don't like, Myrna likes these. I love the fluffer nutters. So I think it would be fantastic if you had the fluffer nutter, use the fluffer nutter recipe, and again, that's on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. So use the fluffer nutter recipe, and if you got any of those little mini, just the Hershey's, either Hershey's or Hershey's Dark, if you got those in your trick-or-treat bag or you were left with those, chop one of those up. Or, I don't know if you've ever done this or not, but you can take a potato grater. You can take a potato grater, or you can take a lemon zester, and you can run that little teeny tiny chocolate bar on there, and you make little chocolate shavings. That would be so good on that. So it would be the fluffer nutter recipe, which is so easy. Only make a few because you're going to eat every one of them that you make. But that is on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and just type in fluffer, FLUFFER space nutter, NUTTER. And again, when Jessica posts this, she will post the link to the fluffer nutters. But the Athens phyllo shells, they're already made. So I'm going to show you these again. It's already made into the little phyllo shell. So there's nothing to shape. There's nothing to thaw. It's just super simple, and they fit perfectly down inside of the little tiny mini muffin pan. So, I mean, they're perfect. They're so stinking easy. You can do chopped apples in these and put something on the top of them. It would be fantastic. And you're going to find these in the freezer section. So across the street at Food City, not that any of you all are coming over to Food City, but across the street at Food City, they are in the freezer section, and they're on the same side as the fruit. Let me think. At that Food City, they're on the same side as the fruit and next to the other like top, phyllo shell things. Okay. So that would be really good. That would be a good way to use that. Also on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, there is, and I'm wanting to dig out all of these. Oh, Trish is gone. Trish is gone to trick or treat or hand out candy. So Trish, just keep all of this in mind. But on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and then I'm wanting to go make all of this like now. Luckily, Frida only gave me a small amount of candy, so I don't have too much that I have to deal with. But there's a recipe for a frozen yogurt bark. So it's bark made out of non-fat plain Greek yogurt. And there's lots of different things you can put in there and mix together and then freeze it. But I thought, how good would that be? I mean, how fun would that be and good to make one using the mini Skittles, because that would be colorful. It would be fun, and you're going to use non-fat plain Greek yogurt. So for those of us that are on purple, that's going to be 0 right now. I don't know what it's going to be here in a couple of weeks, but you could use the Skittles on that, and that would be so colorful and so fun, and I would get my Skittles fixed. So thank goodness Frida only gave me 1 bag of Skittles, or we could have a problem here. Okay. Next one is from Hungry Girl. So Hungry Girl has an absolutely adorable recipe. If you have not seen it, please, you've got after this chat, you can go look. Don't go look right now unless you're watching me on your phone, and then you can go look on your computer. But Hungry Girl has a super, super cute recipe for Cookie Monster mousse shots. So it's mousse, but she's colored them blue, and then she has purchased she got these little eyeballs they're just Wilton. I think they're Wilton, so they're sugar, but little eyeballs. But I thought, how cute if you got left with some red vines or some Twizzlers or something like that. You could make Cookie Monster's mouth. You could make that with the Twizzler or the red vine, and that is on hungrygirl.com. And the recipe is called Cookie Monster Shots. So you can go find that on her website. I haven't seen it on her Instagram yet. I'm not sure if it's on there, but you can definitely go find it on her website. And again, Jessica will have the link to that posted in the chat notes when she gets those done here in just a couple of days. Okay, next, I don't know how many of you all eat these. I keep these in our refrigerator at home. I personally prefer the dark chocolate. So these are pre-prepared, and right now these are 2 points each. Again, don't know what's going to happen in a couple of weeks, but these are pre-prepared Jell-O puddings, and they're the sugar-free pudding. So I know they have fat-free and they have sugar-free. The sugar-free tastes better, and it's just 2 points for the whole cup. So again, I prefer the dark chocolate. They have dark chocolate, and then they have milk chocolate, and then they have one that is vanilla. I think they also have vanilla, and then they have one that's like vanilla and milk chocolate, together, or like in the same cup. But I thought this would be really good to do sugar-free chocolate pudding with gummy worms. So if you had any little packets of gummy worms, or if you got any little Haribo gummy bears, that would be super cute. But for some reason, gummy worms taste really good in chocolate pudding. I don't know why. Can't explain it. But gummy worm consistency things taste really good in chocolate pudding. Don't ask. I don't know. Okay, so that would be super good in that. Phew, I feel like I'm talking 6,000 miles an hour. We have got 10 minutes. We may actually finish early tonight. Okay. Then bananas, because bananas are good for you. These little ones, people ask me all the time where I get these little teeny tiny ones. This is about the size, what the old serving size was of a banana. So way back in the day, again, on WW, bananas used to be 2 points. So for those of you whining about our current system, our current plan, a banana this size would be about 1.5 points. A good sized banana would be 2 points. So we had to cut bananas in half to have a 1 point recipe. Just have a 1 point recipe. I know, Tag, right? But I'm trying to get rid of the Halloween candy. But so these little bananas, if you're here in town, I get these at Food City, and they're in a little bag. They're a little tiny bag, and they're like for kids. But I love the little ones because that's just enough for me. The bananas that are that long, that's a little bit too much. So that probably should have been 2 servings. But this is like a 1 serving banana. So I think it would be awesome to take a 1 serving banana, unless you're really hungry, and then you can get a big banana, and then cut it up. So go ahead and chop it into little banana medallions and put just a little bit of whipped topping on there, and then anything chopped up and sprinkled on there. So you could do a right Twix, you could do a left Twix, and remember, these are, depending on the size, they're 1 point to about 5 points, depending on the size, and you can find out how many points they are on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and just search Halloween. It'll tell you the Halloween size candy. Again, this is not, I did not, on the website, I did not point full size chocolate bars, full size bags of Skittles. This is for the Halloween size. So they're the little snack size or the little treat size. And yeah, Sylvia says, I can remember when a serving of fruit was a half of a banana. Exactly. I know. So Oh, wait, and Take says, I'm not the only one that looks for those little bananas. Yep, nope, you're not the only one. I get them too and always wash them. But anyway, so that banana sliced into the little round banana medallions with just a little squirt of light whipped topping and either a left Twix or a right Twix or any of these things, any of these treats chopped up and put on top, and you would have, a 3 to 5 point treat. And I mean, how fun would that be? I mean, that would be a super fun treat, and you would feel like you had Halloween, because you got to enjoy that treat. Okay, the next to the last one is a Snickers blooming onion. My goodness, a Snickers blooming apple. So I did not have time to make you one tonight. Sorry. The girls decided they wanted to go to trunk or treat instead. So we did that. But the blooming Snickers apple recipe is already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. It's a little complicated in the slicing. So if you don't want to do all the slicing to make the apple actually bloom, that's okay. You can just cut it into quarters. You could cut it into 2 halves, but you're going to bake the apple. So if you do the slicing, don't do the slicing. If you just decide to cut it in half, however you decide to do it, you are going to cook it in your air fryer. So easy to bake an apple in the air fryer. I mean, it's like ridiculously easy. And it's not, good night, Betty Ann, and it's not going to overcook. You're just going to set it for the amount of time, and then you can walk off. You can just walk away and leave it, because when it's done, it's going to cool down and it'll be perfect. But when I make these, I make them with a snack size Snickers in there. And depending on how many points I have, sometimes I'll put 2 in there. But with the Snickers in there, and it comes out perfectly because it's a freshly baked, smells so good apple filled with Snickers. That's chocolate and peanuts and caramel and all that. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. And if I have enough points, then to that I add a little bit of whipped topping or a scoop of some kind of light ice cream like Halo Top or Enlightened or something like that. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, you're gonna love this. And that's on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. You can look up blooming Snickers apple, not onion, Kelly, apple. Okay, and the last thing, this one is going to be a Marlene. Yeah, you can microwave it. I don't know how long to tell you, but yes, you could do that. Or you can make them in the oven. I just like the air fryer because when they're done, and I can walk away and they'll cook themselves. Okay, this last one, I have to be really super careful with. So if you have a lot of people that you can enjoy this with, go to town, go ahead and use it all up. But this is called trash can air popcorn. And all you have to do, and I wish I could have gone ahead and made some of these things for you. I'll try to make a few of them as I'm getting rid of this candy during the week. Just to show you what it looked like, because you don't have to just do it for Halloween. But trash can air fryer popcorn means that you're going to air fry some popcorn. Air pop. See, I just said air fryer. You're going to air pop some popcorn. You're not going to cook popcorn in your air fryer, okay? So back that up. Back it up. Air popped popcorn. So pop you a good sized bag of air popped popcorn. So for some of us, depending on what color you're on, that's going to be 0 points. And then whatever mix you have left of candy. So let's say you've got a Snickers and you've got some M&Ms and a Butterfinger. Let me see. You could throw some Skittles in there. Just go crazy. So you're going to take that and then you're going to put it out into a baking dish and spray it with nonstick spray. And then you're going to chop these up into little chunks. So like the Skittles, I would probably cut them in half, the M&Ms in half. If you're using Snickers or Butterfinger, cut them into as small of chunks as you can. And then you can bake this not for very long. You're just going to put it in the oven just long enough for the candy to start to melt and then shake it up real good. So always do that with a friend though, because that one can get dangerous real fast, depending on how much popcorn you made and how much candy you have in there. But that is trash can air popped popcorn. So again, start with air pop so that you've got the least number of points, and then just chop up whatever you've got left. Make sure you have a friend. Make sure that you are eating this in front of witnesses. Don't just make it for yourself, okay? And it's great and fun to make with kids, because then what did we talk about in the first half? In the first half, we were talking about fiber. None of this is plant-based, okay? None of that is plant-based. So your children are eating this right now as we speak. If you make the trash can air popped popcorn, if you make that, guess what you just put back in there? Your kids will never know that this was air popped. They will never know that it wasn't regular movie theater butter, you know, whatever. But you just introduced some fiber back into their Halloween diet. So, okay, I'm going to stop talking. You all have a great rest of your Halloween. If it is early where you are, have fun trick-or-treating. Try to limit how much candy you end up with at home. I wish you the best of luck on that. If you have any leftover Halloween candy, I hope you will try one of these things to give yourself a little treat, but to not trick yourself, okay? And again, I think we are less than 2 weeks away from some big exciting news on the new plan, on the new WW plan. So I hope you all will stay tuned for that. I am going to attempt to attend whatever the first meeting is of that week. I'm going to attempt to attend that one. So y'all have a great Halloween. Don't keep all the candy there at your house. Try to do something with it or get rid of it. That's just my only suggestion. But y'all have a great evening and a good Halloween. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, this was Halloween, okay? I don't always look like this. And I cannot wait to go home and wash this off. I want to rub this so bad. But anyway, so if you're watching this later on YouTube, it's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Go ahead and let the next video roll over and go ahead and click this little button down here to subscribe. And if you haven't yet, you should. And several of you have, so I'll thank you for that. And go ahead and check that little bell so that you will be notified when the next video comes out. But y'all have a great evening. I've had fun again. Yep, but I'm going to go home and shave and then get rid of this candy. So y'all have a great evening, and I will see you next time. Good night.